y'all? Welcome to the BackRow Boys podcast.
Welcome.
This is episode 3, man.
Yes, sir.
It's already the third episode, bro.
It's so crazy, bro. Cause we've been doing this for a month now.
It's a month already.
That's crazy.
Yo,
man.
it's been really fast. I really thought we've been slow.
Yeah.
What's tough going on, but we actually been fast, bro. Hey, welcome again. I'm your boy TK, and
hey, whatever you call me, just make sure you don't call me. I'm just playing. This is Sylvester. You know, I go by a lot of names, but that's the one my parents gave me actually. So you better make sure you're calling me Sylvester.
Definitely. Hey, as you noticed, Sylvester, we're doing an intro today. We're going kind of a little different.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Today we got a lot of different topics to discuss. Sylvester and I, we were doing like this, like we were doing the prep for this week episode. We have a lot of stuff like to figure this out. It's gonna get sensitive.
Yep.
A lot of people are gonna think that I don't know. Probably people are gonna think like maybe we're going against what we're supposed to talk about, but this is what we are about, right? Like this is what we need to be talking about.
Man.
This is actually something we need to talk about because like this is not just us, you know. Like every African household, like America, Asia, Europe, Africa, you know, people go through this. Like this is what this conversation is all about.
Yeah, bro. To be honest, bro, this is why we've set up this space so we can be able to talk about, you know, things, unconventional things, right?
True.
You know, it's not like, you know, like I said the last time, and which is the truth. We don't really plan the things that we want to talk about on here. We just, you know, maybe we have a weekly meeting that we do. So maybe during the meeting, turns like, bro, what do you think if we discuss this? You know, and I'm like, I like it, bro. Let's talk about it. I want to hear. And I'm like,
definitely.
And I'll be like, yo, I want to hear what you think about this.
Hey,
you know,
definitely. Y'all gotta comment. Y'all gotta post some comment on there and tell us what you think about this conversation. Cause like I said earlier, it's gonna be sensitive. That's the reason. If you see I got an iPad here, that's the reason why. This has been planned. This is actually a great episode.
Yeah.
So yeah. So before we get into it, what do you think about last week's episode?
Bro, last week's episode, man, it was great. And the timing, bro, the timeline, as far as when we posted it, it was also great because we posted the episode and then like 2 days after, it was the Independence holiday.
Yep.
You know, so for me, that was good. That was good timing. You had the jersey on and everything. You know, and we were talking about, you know, great stuff. And it's just so nice, you know, to see. I was watching a video about Philly, bro. And they shut down the whole street, bro.
Bro, they shut down the whole city.
Imagine celebrating Liberia's independence in America and shutting down the whole street, bro. That's wild. That is
very
wild, bro. You know,
very wild, bro.
And it just shows how many people are patriotic about
that's true.
Our country, you know.
Yep.
And I just can't wait to see, man. I know there's something great, you know, in the works, you know, in the working for Liberia, you know. So I know maybe not in the next 10 years, but like down the line, bro, Liberia is going to be another country where it's going to be a country again that people are going to talk about and they'll be like, oh, man, this is great, you know. Because people be talking about back in the days,
Hey,
you know?
We got to turn out back in the days into present day.
Right. Oh, we got to be like.
That's what I think.
We got to be like, man, now,
Liberia? That's how it should be. That's how it should be.
And then we're going to get to the place where we're not even going to talk about back in the days no more. It's going to be like, man, back in the days was so hard, bro. Now, Liberia is like where I want to be, you know?
But guess what? That all start with us.
That's true, bro.
Our generation can put that.
That's true.
We can bring that to the front. That's how we can get this done.
And then I have a question then.
What you got?
How, from your perspective, what's one of the ways that you think we can move our generation forward to that?
So that's actually a great question, you know? Yeah. So let's just say there are a lot of people like within like our generation that's in Liberia, like at the time, bro, they have to like. You don't have to get into political office
Yeah.
to try to make people to know you.
Yeah.
You can start a podcast. You
Yeah.
can start doing videos. You
Yeah.
can start reaching out. You can start like a community. You know, back in Liberia, they have like a tire shop.
Yep.
Right? You can start this attire shop stuff where people come over to you
Yeah.
and y'all can talk, like express what you gotta say. That's what I think. You know,
Yeah.
it's more like expression because I think back in Liberia, we we weren't given like we the youth, we are not given like the opportunity like to talk. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, man, that's true. Because most of the
Because
time
we need to express ourselves.
when we talk, it's like either it sounds like we're just being angry or
That's
like
true. You
we're like
see?
trying to like
That's
be
what-
disrespectful. But then sometimes
That's
it's
what I'm
like,
talking about.
you know, it's like that because most people our age don't have the right, you know, right space to like share their thoughts and opinion, and because of that, that leads to other things, you know.
That's
so
true.
that could be one of the problems too.
Definitely.
But
Definitely.
and I definitely understand, bro. Like you want to be able to hear everything people are thinking, you know, and
Yep.
everything that people are thinking might not be necessarily be right, but then it's also not necessarily totally wrong, you know.
Definitely.
So being able to pick out uh the good thing out of the bad thing. I had a professor who used to say, everything I'm saying, take out the none and keep the sense, you know, because it's out of the
Hey, that's a
nonsense.
good. Hey, that sounds like Stanley Bono though.
Yeah, bro. It's like take out the none and keep the sense, because
That sounds
the
like
sense
Stanley
makes more
Bono,
sense
bro.
than the nonsense together, you know. Because so there's like good thing in every, you know, thing. So that's that for that one. So yeah, what else do you have?
But
for
yo,
us, bro?
hey, to get to the nitty gritty of this episode 3, like I posted on Instagram earlier today, we're gonna get down to some conversation that we need to talk about this, right?
Yeah, bro.
So for this episode,
Mhm.
I got I'm talking about mental health. So mental health in like African household, or let's just say black household, or household that have people that is between the age of, let's just say, 15 to 29 or 27. You know, what? Why isn't mental health discussed in an African household or a black household? Because bro, we do have a lot that goes on with us, like when we live with our parents, that we really cannot talk about, you know? Like, these are some of the things that we cannot talk about because if your parents keep yelling at you every day in front of their friends,
Yeah.
that affects you greatly. If your parents telling you stuff that you cannot talk back to them, but let's just say after a few minutes you go and talk to them like, hey mom, what you did was or hey dad, what you did was actually, was not, is any ready get to me, it any ready correspond with me like that, because it kind of made me feel bad in front of everybody. These are some of the things that we go through, like we go through stress. But
Yeah.
what I kind of see is our parents don't really see that. They don't really talk about that. This is not something that is talked about in our household, especially when we are growing up. These should be like conversation that I feel that our parents should have conversation with us about, like mental health is real, because if your child is suffering from mental health, that child starts to step away from a lot of things. Like that child will probably start doing things the other way,
Yeah.
hanging out with the wrong friends.
Yeah.
Let's just say partying every day with the wrong friends,
Yep.
and doing things that that parent would not want the child to do.
Yep.
And then now our parent will start to say, "Oh, that child ain't listening to us no more. That child's not listening to us.
Yeah.
Why? Because that child is going through something that you have put in through that they cannot talk about to you.
Yeah.
Because why? They're afraid of you." So I kind of think that, like I said, this was going to be more sensitive and stuff. No, it's going to be sensitive.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like this is something that our parents need to be talking to us about. What do you think?
Man, I just have to say, first off, I do understand what you were saying, and it makes a lot of sense. I was thought in school that mental health is health. You know, most of the time we um we overlook mental health,
Yeah.
and especially in our African community, and not just Liberia. It's like it's
It's everywhere.
African Nigerians, Ghanaian. I have a lot of Nigerians and Ghanaian friends, and it's like the same too. You know, like we make joke at school, and I'm like, one of the standing joke we have at school is, you know, we'll be like, imagine going home and telling your dad, I feel depressed.
That's
you know,
true. That's true.
You
Cause
know?
they're gonna say,
because they're gonna be like,
what was you
why are you
depressed
depressed?
about?
You know,
Yeah. This
You
is
know?
something that is real.
And
It's very real.
we talked about it. We talk about it at school, and then we just laugh about it. But sometimes too, I don't blame our parents. The reason why I'm saying this is because that's the same thing that they experienced. You know,
That's true.
so it's not like here in America or like in Europe in like the modern world where now people are starting to talk about, you know, things that affect them, and you see black people going to therapy and stuff like that. Those things are like new. They're not like something that just, you know, that they've been doing since the 1800s, or like not even the 1800s, but like 1960. You know, that's not something they just started doing. So
That's true.
that's part of it. It's like, one, in order to talk about mental health, you have to start feeling like it's a stigma, you know, and you have to like get it out of the way in a sense where it's not like weird to talk about, you know, because right now, if you're, you know, it might be easy now because, you know, you've learned more and you're with your parents in the States.
It might be
different,
easy
you know?
in America, but we're trying to target, like, trying to talk about what's going on in Liberia.
Yeah,
Because
bro.
I think there's a lot of people in Liberia that haven't reached that stage yet where, you know, I'm depressed. You know, you won't know that you're depressed about something, bro.
Yeah.
But you are depressed.
You wouldn't know. Bro, sometimes,
You know?
I think about it. I think about the main thing I think about is like, you know how when people have like, you know, psychiatric problem and stuff like that.
True.
And they're dealing with stuff like that, how the parents still keep them home, and everybody know that, oh, this person is dealing with some abnormalities, you know, so we're gonna tend to them and give them the help they need. But in Liberia, if something like that happened, we're like, oh, that man crazy, you know, that man crazy, you know.
That man crazy. That child listen to me.
Yeah.
That child ain't doing this.
You know, so
but that child is actually going through a lot of stuff that parent have put them through.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, and it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Mental health awareness is like so big.
It's one of the greatest thing that I think that, I mean, we haven't been put to that point yet, but I think that's one of the thing, especially with like, let's just say like the 14, 15 years of civil war in Liberia. I think that's one of the things a lot of people need to look at.
Yeah.
Like mental health.
Yeah.
Mental health is real, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you personally. I've been depressed.
Yeah.
I've been depressed where I've reached to the point where I'd be like, okay, I don't know what to do next. What can I do? How can I do it? This is hard for me.
Yeah.
But guess what? A lot of people don't know. They don't see it. And I guess that same thing had happened to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This is real. This is something that we should be talking about. Like, as our like parents, they should get to that point and talk to their children.
Yeah.
Mental health is real for you. That's what I think.
Yeah, and then another thing too, it's not, you know, just about the parents too. It's about us, like I said earlier, right? Getting past that stage where we feel like it's weird, it's awkward to like be like, oh mom, or hey dad, this is what I'm experiencing now, you know. So I want to talk about my feelings, you know. We have to get past that first too to be able to initiate that communication with our parents, you know. Too. So it's not one sided, it's both sides, you know. And yeah, bro, like trauma, like you were just talking about the Civil War, bro. Trauma is like something that no one talk about in Liberia and stuff like that. We don't talk about trauma.
That's true.
Just like that
Definitely.
movie Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno.
We don't
But yeah,
talk about Bruno.
Bruno is like trauma, bro. You don't talk about Bruno because you don't talk about trauma.
True.
And that's literally it, you know. Because first of all, the weird thing is you don't know where to start. If I'm like, if you went to a therapist, and they're like, hey, I sense that you've experienced some level of trauma. The first thing you're gonna be like, me, but
that's
like,
it. That's true.
because most of the time we don't know how to like think about it and be like, oh wait, maybe the reason why I'm acting like this is because this happened in my life, and even though I was 6 years old, I never got past that stage,
True.
and now I'm like 26,
Yep.
and now what happened at 6 is like interfering with the lifestyle I'm trying to live
That's
at 26.
Definitely. Definitely.
It's
Definitely.
crazy. It's crazy, but we have to be able to like, find out why we do a certain thing. Bro, like I was at a meeting with one of my mentors at school, and she's a great lady. She always asks me like, hey, what's new in your life? And a couple weeks ago, man, I went to church and I came home with the mindset. I had this, just thought, and it became a whole mindset of trying to understand me, in the sense of being like, why do I do certain things? Like saying, why do I do certain things? And even though I try to change, I just can't change. I keep doing this thing, and even though I hate it, why do I do it? Or being like, why if this person walks in the room, why does it take me off? And those are like tiny things that we don't really like think about, but it's great to be like to think. It's great to think about those things.
Yep.
Because if you know why those things, resolve into a certain reaction, then you start to understand yourself more. And bro, if you understand yourself more, that's the greatest thing you can do, bro. I'm not a military person, but I like to read a lot about the military, bro. I like to read a lot about the military, bro.
Don't get me started right now.
As a Navy SEAL, right? I learned they have this thing that is a saying where they were like 3/4 word. Basically, what that means is you can only control what's around you. Like if they were to dig a 3 feet hole and put you in that, only the things in the hole you can control, because they were like what's in your reach, but everything else is like out of reach.
Hey, if something is not out of reach, you cannot get to the point where you're gonna handle it.
Yeah,
you gotta handle something that's within your reach.
Right, within your 3/4 word, bro.
Yep.
Like within your 3/4 word. If you get to the point where you understand what's in your 3/4 word, bro, like you start learning how to like avoid the certain things because you don't like the reaction it leads to from you, right? And that's just it, and that's the thing too, bro, with the mental health thing, bro. If you start to understand, how these things impact you, and then you become a better version of yourself, and and then you start flourishing, you start, glowing, and everyone's like, yo, who is this person? Who is this new Terrence? And like,
true.
It's the Terrence that I always wanted to be, because
100%.
I've learned how to understand myself.
Yep.
And for me, even right now, that's the journey I'm on. I'm on that journey of really understanding myself. One, understanding how I impact people. Like we talked about the last time. What do I bring to a room?
Yeah.
Two, understanding my feelings, understanding how, why I react a certain ways to things, and understanding why I do certain things. So for me, that's like where I'm at in life right now. So yeah.
Everything you said has been like what's really been going on, basically. That's literally it. But as I was, for this conversation, as I was making my research, I kind of feel like, if your parent get to the point where, like, personal, let me just say that.
Yeah.
Personally, for me and my dad and my mom, right? I've gotten to the point with them where I can actually discuss things with them and tell them this is where I am in life. Like,
Yep.
I don't want this going on or that going on, cause why? That's gonna stress me out.
Yeah.
I've gotten to that point with my parents, but this is what I started thinking about. How many of our parents do you see have gotten to that point where they're gonna listen to their children? Because this is one of the greatest issue, bro. Like, mental health is real.
Yeah.
Like I always say, it's real. Because honestly, man, I'm not gonna sit here and I'm all innocent because I used to be the person that be like, nah, mental health is real, bro. Mental health is not really it.
Yeah.
There's nothing really going on with mental health. But I got stressed out, bro. I couldn't think. I couldn't sleep
Yeah.
thinking about what I'm gonna do the next day. I got to that point where I had to understand like what's really going on. I had to understand that. So that's when I started to think about mental health. I'm like, this is actually real. People get really stressed out, like you already don't know like what you want to do next. So if our parents can start to take into consideration what we are telling them, if we have that courage to tell them, if our parents can start to take into consideration what we are telling them, I think we're not gonna talk about this conversation anymore.
uh, it's a it's a good start. You know, um, obviously, I I can't speak for parents because I'm not one, but you are. So
Definitely, definitely.
you can speak for that. But
Yeah.
no, bro. No. Jokes aside, I do understand what you were saying, and for me, I think that's a good place to start because one, the way you change things is by listening. It's not about
And do our
proving a
parent
point.
and do our parents listen to us? And some parents listen to us, but not all of the parents.
You know what's funny
That's
though?
where that question comes in. Is our parent willing to listen to us?
I think the older we get, it's easier for our parents to listen to us. But then that's where the narrative has to be changed just a little bit. You have to be able to understand, even though your kid is like 6 years old, what they're saying. I'm not saying let them run the house because that would be wrong.
True,
But
that's definitely true.
at that age, maybe hear them out, hear what they were thinking, and maybe it's not. They're probably gonna say something wrong about discipline, but yeah. But when it comes to like mental health and stuff like that, it's good to, listen to your kids because the more you create that avenue for them to be vulnerable and talk about what they're feeling, it becomes easier for them to talk about anything that's wrong with them.
That's true.
And you want a relationship with your kid where if they went out to a party, and something happened, you'll be the first person to hear about it,
True.
and not
That's true.
the other way around.
Yep.
Where,
Yep.
your kid went to a party, something happened, and they're home, and you can tell from that because parents always know something's wrong.
Facts.
So you can tell.
That's facts.
Right. You can tell
Definitely facts, bro.
from their mood and their action and everything. But then you're asking them, hey, what's wrong? And they're like, nothing.
Hey, I told my dad that a lot of times.
Because that's the answer
Yeah.
we always get, bro.
Because what? I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
If I tell him, at that time he used to get mad at me, so I don't want to get in trouble. So
Yeah.
when he asked me like, "What happened? What's wrong?"
Nothing. Yeah. And it's so hard because we get in that mindset of saying nothing, for so long that to the point that even now that we're older, we're like 25, 26 and stuff like that, we still do that sometimes.
That's true.
Whereas like everyone can tell, everyone else in the room can tell something's wrong with you. Everyone's like, yo, there's something wrong with this dude, but we're like, bro, I'm fine. What you mean?
I'm fine.
Nothing. I'm
You
fine,
ain't
bro.
got
I'm
nothing to
fine.
say
Leave
about
me
it.
alone.
You can
I'm
say
good.
anything about
If
it.
I say I'm fine, that's it. You're not gonna change my mind. You're not gonna make me say, okay, fine, okay.
That's true.
No, it's not gonna happen because I
Yep.
said I'm fine.
Yep.
So
Yep.
getting to the place where we can actually, open up and be like, hey, this is how I actually truly feel. It takes a lot, bro. It takes, a lot. I said it before, but yes, a lot. But it has to start from like childhood, because when it start like that, bro, then it's easier to go on and on and on and be able to like, vulnerably talk about things. But and it feels weird. One second, it feels so weird, bro, because I remember when I moved here, bro, and whenever like I go places and there's like a white person or like someone who just like they're just willing to share everything that happened to them. And I'm like, are you
How?
crazy? What's
How?
wrong with you?
Why
You know,
are you talking about yourself
I'm like,
like
yo,
that?
like what
what's
happened
going
today?
on?
Like, oh, I went this,
You
this,
can't
this.
keep no secret. Yep.
I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? You
But
know?
guess what? Guess what? That's how we grew up.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
how we were told to do
Yeah,
things.
and that's the right.
And I
way,
don't
bro.
think. Yeah. Just yeah.
You
yeah.
should be able to share what's wrong with you.
What's
'Cause
wrong?